Hi, I'm Razorfinger and we're back into SmallTalk. This time, we got a Shmup double trouble. One thing that's very interesting about the Shmup genre is that since it's one of the first genres of games ever created, it got more than enough time to evolve and branch out in multiple styles and directions. We've been blessed with traditional shmups, twin stick shooters, bullet hells, and mix-ups of all of those together. We've also had variations on the style of game, from traditional level-based to more interconnected designs, and relating to this episode's game, endless. It's not exactly a new concept, considering most games were endless back in the day, with things like asteroids or river raids, but it's impressive how it keeps on lending itself quite well to the modern style of endless games. So the game featured in this episode is quite a different shmup to something like Zero Ranger, and it opens up a nice discussion to what both styles have to offer. Alright, so before I review the game, I wanna preface this by stating that this is an upcoming game in its pre-alpha state that has been sent to me directly for this episode of SmallTalk. That said, they sent me the game and I played it to see if it would be a good fit for SmallTalk. There was no money or any sort of compensation involved, because I want this series to really reflect on games I like personally, without much outside influence, and I do like this one. So, this episode's game is Extra Galactica by Digital Yogurt and published by Ghost Street Games. So, as I mentioned in the intro, this is an endless shoot-'em-up game that's still in development, that's being made by a very small group of people. There's a very basic plot to it. You're an adventurous pilot called Flurp, and you, together with your loyal crew, are fighting against the evil forces of the very ominous Smile Man in order to defend your homeworld of Celestial. At least that's what I got from the very short cutscene that plays at the beginning of the first level. It's not much, but it's a nice way to set the stage and get you acquainted with all the characters that sometimes make small appearances in the game's menus. The game itself seems very traditional at first. Enemies come from the front and you shoot them up, like the genre. But there are a lot of auxiliary mechanics at play here that makes the game quite complex. Of course, some of these mechanics are very hard to grasp at a first glance. The game is quick to throw into the action, which is good, but a lot of this stuff goes unsaid, unless you explore your way into the many menus to find the kinda well-hidden help section. That said, the help section has a very charming voiceover, so I'll let that slide.
Often reveal one of three minds.
These auxiliary mechanics are quite integral to what makes the game feel distinct. It's a very deep game mechanically, and a lot more than it seems to be at a first glance. You're not only flying and shooting, you also have a score multiplier that makes you stronger the more enemies you kill. You have a slow time effect to help with dodging. There are 3 types of bombs, and all of them can be used to your advantage, but may also backfire on you. You also have to not allow ships to pass by you, or else Celestial will take damage. And there's a side parry mechanic that can deflect some projectiles and also damage ships that come too close. And there's an option that makes you do that automatically, and that was absolutely necessary, or else I wouldn't ever manage to use it. As I said, it's pretty deep. These auxiliary mechanics are generally all required in order to achieve success in the game, considering the game is, hard as all hell. A lot of this hardness comes from a difficulty to understand all of the game's mechanics and nuances. As I mentioned in the last paragraph, some of this hardness comes from the chaotic nature of the game's visuals, where it's sometimes hard to understand what's good and what's not good. And the rest of the hardness is just because it's actually a hard game. But it's got a good learning curve. Sure, some things could use, and probably will use, considering this is an alpha build, some straightening out before release, such as the projectile ratio of the bombs, or the size of the ship's collider, that seems a bit too big, and feel almost impossible to do tight dodges, even with the bullet times. But in general, it's a game that seems really unfair at first, and then gradually seems a lot more manageable, but still really hard. After around an hour and a half of playing, I can semi-consistently get to wave 5. The dev told me he managed to get all the way to wave 20, and to me that's completely insane. But if wave 5 is manageable after just 1 hour, who knows where I can get within 4 or 5 hours. Every 4 or 5 waves there's a boss, and all of them are pretty hard and destroyable the first time. Except for the centipede one, that one was most easy. The fact that bosses and mini-bosses are always randomized mixes up the game quite well, opening it up for quite a lot of variety, which is always appreciated, especially in an endless game. I really like the boss that's a bunch of light rays, even though I think it's one of the hardest and I actually never managed to beat it. As I said, a lot of the difficulty comes from the chaotic visuals, but to be honest, I think that's one of the game's strongest points, and it's really what got me interested in the first place. The game opens up with a cool 3D cutscene with very strong bloom effects, but later it zooms into an old-timey menu screen, and after that it goes into a 16-bit pixel style game. The game is not afraid to throw everything it can at you and see what sticks. The captain's face sometimes appears on the screen's reflection when you get a combo, the screen turns on a noise distortion when you're low on health. When you shoot, a bunch of pew pew symbols pop up in front of the ship, not all enemies are pixel art, and in a couple of menu screens your ship is actually 3D. See, it's a lot. It makes the game stand out from the crowd and have its own very unique style, which is important considering the spaceship sci-fi shmup is actually one of the most common styles you can have. It's also a very surprising amount of polish for a game that's not even in its demo stage yet. The devs told me they still have a lot they plan on fixing and improving before it's even ready to be considered a demo, which is pretty impressive considering everything they have till now. I barely even scratched the surface, and I have already seen 3 bosses and maybe like 5 mini-bosses. It's gonna be a pretty big game soon, and you should all wishlist it on Steam. There's a link in the description. But for now, thanks for watching.